Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Joey Kleka coming to you from Alaska's news source here at our digital desk and bringing you new information today on the Alaska Sports Hall of Fame unveiling their class of 2026. That's right, 3 new names as well as 2 moments being unveiled and released today for the Alaska Sports Hall of Fame. And we're going to take a quick look at rundown who those 3 names are and what the 2 moments were. And here they are. You have professional bowler Sean Rash, renowned backcountry adventurer Dick Griffith, and lastly, former UAA basketball star Butch Lincoln. And we're going to take a look at all 3 of these names, as well as the 2 moments, those 2 moments being 1928, when a young teen, Ephraim Kalmakoff, set the Mount Marathon course record that stood for decades afterward, as well as 1993, when East Anchorage beat Bartlett for the high school state championship in basketball, beating Bartlett in triple overtime. It was considered a game for the ages. And like I said, we're going to run through each of these names in those 2 moments. So let's take a look here. First up is Sean Rash. Now, if you don't know, Sean Rash made a name for himself in Alaska's bowling alleys, but also on the national stage. He was a former Diamond High School attendee who went pro in 2005 in bowling, and has since then won 18 Professional Bowling Association championships, as well as the 2011 and 2012 PBA Player of the Year title. Rash, of course, bowled 30 perfect games. It's not easy to bowl 1 perfect game. Well, Sean Rash did 30 of them, according to the Hall, and has won over $1.5 million in career earnings. And of course, more recently, he entered the top 20 in the PBA all-time wins list. Now, Butch Lincoln, another inductee to the class of 2026 Alaska Sports Hall of Fame. You may know him for his time at the University of Alaska Anchorage on the hardwood, a 5'7" point guard who previously led the Kotzebue boys basketball team to a high school championship in 1990. But Butch Lincoln became the first Alaska native to play hoops on a college scholarship at UAA. His days at UAA spanning from 1993 to 1997, he helped the Seawolves win 69 games, as well as 3 Pac-West Conference crowns. And at the 1996 Great Alaska Shootout, Lincoln put on a show against a vaunted Kentucky Wildcats team, where he zigged and zagged around the defense and really put on a show. He ultimately ends up in the top 10 lists of UAA men's basketball, ranking 7th all-time in career assists and 6th all-time in career free throw percentage. And his performances were enough to earn him a spot as well on Sports Illustrated's 1999 list of greatest sports figures of the 20th century from Alaska. So quite a talent there. Now, Dick Griffith, known as the adventurer's adventurer, Dick Griffith made a name for himself trekking thousands of miles across Alaska and Canada over his long life. Now, unfortunately, the state of Alaska did lose him just recently. Dick Griffith died just last week on December 2nd at his home in Anchorage at the age of 98. But he left behind quite a legacy. He grew up on a farm in Wyoming, and when in his time in Alaska here, he trekked, he skied and hiked thousands of miles across the state. And in 1982, in the inaugural running of the Alaska Wilderness Classic, which was a grueling race that tests runners to cross, upwards of 150 or more miles of Alaska's wilderness, he pioneered the use of pack rafts in the state. In total, Dick Griffith was a 17-time finisher of that race. One Alaskan adventurer described Griffith as, quote, the Clint Eastwood in tennis shoes and a backpack. And he was known for, again, numerous long-distance hiking and skiing trips. In 1997, he made the first complete documented traverse of the Brooks Range from Kaktovik to Kotzebue with his friend Bruce Stafford. And in his later years, he made several attempts to ski from Unalakleet to Hudson Bay in Canada, which was a 4,000-mile trip. And he completed that trip at the age of 73. Now, looking at the moments category, the first one, Ephraim Kalmakoff winning the 1928 Mount Marathon race. If you don't know that race, it's held every year, still to this day, held every year on 4th of July in Seward. And back in 1928, a young teenager, Ephraim Kalmakoff, beat the field to set a course record that actually stood for decades. It wasn't No one beat his course record until 1957. His time of 52 minutes and 35 seconds up and down this mountain, which is roughly 3,000 feet, standing over the town of Seward, sliced about 2.5 minutes off that previous record. And what made it even more remarkable was his age. The records are incomplete, but it's believed that he was between 14 and 16 when he did that. And he did it while wearing his Boy Scout uniform. So Ephraim Kalmakoff, a 3-time winner of Mount Marathon from 1928 to 1930. Tragically, his life ended in 1935 when he contracted tuberculosis and passed away. Here's another picture of him standing on top of the peak down in Seward. Of course, we'll have more information on what the Sports Hall of Fame as tonight when we have the sports director Harlow Robinson on air. But last but not least, no photos here that we have, but the last moment that is inducted into the class of Hall of Fame, the 2026 class in this Hall of Fame, is East beating Bartlett in triple overtime to win the Class 4A state hoops title in 1993. That, of course, called a game for the ages at West Anchorage High School, but the game itself was played between East and Bartlett, where a former East legend, Trey John Langdon, played a big role in that. And you can read more about that triple overtime game in 1993 that was played and why it made the class of 2026 Alaska Sports Hall of Fame for this next year. So you can read that at alaskasnewssource.com, and we'll have, again, more kind of information and more talks about this and what it means. So you can tune in tonight on Alaska's News Source and find more information on our website. Thank you.